Welcome to the Scoop World Order. We are getting close. Final practice is in the books at AT&T Stadium. The Cotton Bowl is wrapped up. They have a walkthrough tomorrow, nice and easy, and then it is going to be go time on Friday. Are you guys excited? We are excited. We're going to talk a little bit about what we saw in practice. Gene Smith's final practice as the athletic director at Ohio State. I guess he's taking spring ball off, which I guess is news to us. So we're going to get into all that and break down some of the matchups. I think Trey Henderson's coming back. I think Sawyer's coming back. I think we've got a lot of guys coming back. So you guys better get ready for 2024. And if you want the best experience in Ohio State football, you got to join BuckeyesScoop.com. I'm telling you, don't jump off the bridge yet, guys. I'm telling you, we're about to be loaded for Bear next year. The number one team in the country. A lot of juniors coming back. The culture is different here, guys. I'm telling you, we've been saying it. Nevada Buck and I have been saying it. We've got a lot of guys that are opting out of going to the NFL, coming back for that extra year. Denzel Burke, I think, is coming back. I think Trey Henderson's coming back. And again, things can change. But, when these guys are like, I think I know what my decision is. And, I'm going to announce on January 10th. Like, I'm like, dude, like, if you're announcing on January 10th, that means you're going to skip 10 days of combine training in Phoenix or LA or wherever you train at. So he's come back to Ohio State. So let's read the tea leaves and let's get into it. Devin Brown looked sharp. O-line looked really good today. The guys are confident. I think that this is going to be a big send-off for these guys. The whole line is ready to rock for this game. But I got to bring in my good friend Nevada. Nevada, again, the sand is coming out of the hourglass. This is a very unique game. It's a Friday night game. It feels like a high school football state championship or something because it's a Friday night. All the marbles on the table to beat Missouri, send the seniors off the right way. Nice win for the program. How are you feeling? Practices are in the books. We've talked to our people, our spies, people that are watching practice. How you feeling right now?
Well, first of all, you have to remember, okay, this is Wednesday night. So this is OSU Fat Guy Media Casino night, which means that the casinos, all the $2 tables at the casinos are being blobbed onto by OSU Fat Guys right now
I'm
that are
dead.
in there, that are ready to go, that have been watching practice for 20 minutes every day and have now filed their reports and have gone to it. So that's who we're competing with. That's the guy that we're competing with. And so, despite it being Fat Guy Media Casino Day, I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really good. I think the Buckeyes have had as productive a bowl prep as I can remember in a very long time. It has a completely different feel than really any year. It's been a long time since you've had this kind of feeling where you've had so many guys coming back. It's always at this time of year. It's always about the NFL draft. It's always about guys leaving. It's always about guys sitting out. It's always about guys saying farewell. Doing that sort of thing. And man, this year's completely the opposite. This year is completely about we got to win this game. We got to get off this thing right. We got to be sharp. We got to be motivated. We got to be playing ready. And man, they're ready. They are ready. They are ready to go. Look, Missouri's going to be a nice test. Missouri's a top 10 team, so Missouri's no joke. Have played some tough teams. Played Georgia well. Blew out what they bought Tennessee. I think they bought Tennessee. I mean, so they've played some teams that they do some things. Their quarterback moves around. He's got 8 rushing touchdowns. Opportunistic runner around the goal line. So they're going to be a great test. But this Ohio State team's ready. This team's ready to roll. I think they've got a great game plan for the pressure package that they know that they're going to get from Missouri. They're going to get Devin Brown some easy throws early, kind of get him into a rhythm, try to spread them out as much as they can. We've talked about this many times. When you spread teams out, what it makes them do, it makes them kind of identify, their blitz packages, what they're going to do. And then also, when you've got wide receivers out there, you're going to be playing man coverage. That means those defensive backs are running with their back to the ball. So if Devin Brown gets skinny, slips between a crease, on that pass rush, he's going to run for a while. So I think Ohio State's got a good game plan. I think they know what they're up against, and I'm super excited for the game and super confident for the game. Couldn't have had a better bowl prep than they did. No excuses. Ohio State's ready to roll.
Dude, I'm telling you, I feel great about Ohio State. I feel bad for everybody that is in this chat, and we've got several hundreds or almost to 500 people that are in this right now that aren't on BuckeyesScoop.com because we have one of the greatest threads in the history of message boards on our thing right now. We had a member ask Nicole Auerbach, is she cute, not cute, pretty, not pretty? And like the responses are unbelievable. Like, are you guys married? Whatever. A lot of our Scoop members posted like, hey, is she prettier than your wife? And like, that was like one of the guys called that out. And I was like, well, yeah, my wife's a 10 out of 10. She'd blow the socks off that horse. And then we had a lot of Scoop members post their wags, their wives and girlfriends, and pretty strong, Nevada. What did you think of that thread? Because that thread is one of the funniest threads I've ever read in my entire life. And it's literally only 3 pages long right now. But your thoughts on that? I know this is a complete skew away from the Cotton Bowl, but this is one of the great threads in Buckeye Scoop history, maybe message board history, maybe the history of the internet and the earth. But your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I mean, look, the Oracle came in strong with a thing talking about how hot Nicole Auerbach was. And,
oh my God.
That immediately elicited some strong responses from Buckeye Scoop members. So, but yeah, no, it's look, there's all sorts of. That's the great thing about Buckeye Scoop is that you've got threads from wine to recruits
gambling,
to movies to gambling to everything, and it's all like-minded people. So that's why it's fun to hang out. I never thought that I'd end up being a message boarder, but it's fun. It's fun hanging out and seeing what people have to say, and I learn something new every single day when I'm on the message board. There's no question about it.
I mean, I thought I misread it, but he came in like off the top rope defending Nicole Auerbach's hotness, and I'm like, is this real? I was like, I was like, I wanted to take a breathalyzer and send me a screenshot of it. Because I'm like, have you been drinking since like 6 a.m. that you're saying Nicole Auerbach is this like smoke show? But he was on that, man. I mean, it's like when someone defends a player that can't play in the big leagues or the big time level, and he's like, oh no, you just wait and see. And I'm like, nah, he stinks. He's a running back that runs a 5 40. He's not going to make it in the big leagues. But he was all in on it. Appreciate you guys. If you guys have super chats, again, we're going to be cranking these things out. Again, if you guys have questions, the super chats are a great way. We'll stop the show, answer your questions. A lot of you guys are in here grinding it out. I hope you guys had a great Christmas. But yeah, I feel substantially good about how the prep went for the Cotton Bowl. The people I've talked to, team is focused, the team is locked in. That is not the standard in college football, folks. I mean, you watch a lot of these teams, they're without their starting quarterbacks, their second team quarterbacks, their people in the portal. Florida State is down to Brock Glenn again versus Georgia. Georgia lost Amarius Mims. They also lost Brock Bowers, who's the best tight end in the country, top 10 pick. Hey, the culture at Ohio State's strong. A lot of guys, the only guy opt out looks like right now is Marvin. Tommy's not an opt-out if you're hurt. If you're substantially injured, then it's not an opt-out. But dude, like this is the difference between Ohio State and a lot of the programs. I mean, the only program right now that I feel a year from now has the same type of a strong culture is Alabama. That's it. I think Michigan, telling you that nuclear bomb is hovering above their building, Schembechler Hall right now. It's going to get dropped in March, and we're going to sit here and laugh and say, we told you so. Guys can't be cheating, can't be lying. Don't lie to the NCAA. Don't make the NCAA angry because they'll bring the hammer of God down on you. And they're going to. So you're Georgia falling apart at the seams, Florida State falling apart at the seams, Texas, whatever. I mean, Steve Sarkisian has been, aloof a lot of his career, and he's had a nice year this year. Washington, who knows? They're always kind of a flash in the pan. They were good 7 to 10 years ago when they had John Ross, and they're not, they're okay now. I think Texas is going to whoop them and be in the championship versus Bama. But it's going to be a real interesting year from out Nevada. The big elephant in the room is there's this feeling, there's this gargantuan domino that potentially could fall, and we could have basically almost everybody back. And I'm not putting a gun to your head. I'm not making you, tie that to your name. But outside of Marvin, there's a good chance we get a lot of these guys back. Like, how are you feeling about that? How good could we be in 2024?
Well, I mean, Mike Hall's another guy that we got to kind of, he's got a kid.
Yep.
He'll probably be moving on. But other than that, I mean, we talked about this. There was a question today about why we aren't more active in the portal. And the point that I made in that discussion was we're returning 10 guys that potentially could have, that we were having serious conversations about going to the NFL. 10. So you're talking about returning 10 starters that would have ordinarily gone. And that is just a much better ad than adding anybody from the portal. And, when you have 10 out of your, starters returned, 10 out of your 22 starters returned that could have gone, then, you're not going to have a lot of spots open. And, I think, I look, the ultimate elephant in the room is the Will Howard continued flirtations with Ohio State with the Devin Brown. I mean, Will Howard followed Emeka, Brandon Ennis, Carnell Tate today.
Tate, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that wasn't an accident. That happened for a reason. And, look, he wants to come to Ohio State. And, you've got this Devin Brown who's kind of got this one game audition, for Ryan Day to kind of decide whether or not, because Ryan Day knows with all these guys returning, next year's a national championship year. Absolutely. And for Ohio State, no matter what think, no matter how good Devin is, Devin's going to be a first-year starter. Whereas Will Howard will have seen, he'll be a fourth-year guy starting his 50th game or whatever the heck it is. So I think that's the ultimate elephant in the room is how good is Devin? How composed is Devin? How many mistakes does Devin make in this game? How comfortable can Ryan Day get calling a Devin Brown kind of game? And I think that's the ultimate story here of the Cotton Bowl. And frankly, it's the only reason why the betting line is as close as it is that Devin Brown's a complete unknown to the gambling community, and people just have no idea what they're going to get. And if it's any reflection upon how he's done in practice, he's been superb. He's been superb in bowl prep. Will that transfer to the game? I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. Unknowable. But I'm telling you, he's been really good in practice. If practice is any indication, he's been really good, better than I thought that he would be, better than just about anybody thought he would be. And we'll see how that plays out on Friday.
Yeah, there are people that want to hear like a year and a half ago that I talked to said that he's the guy. He's the guy that has that extra gear, that special thing that not every quarterback has. Kyle McCord didn't have it, but they said that this guy is special. Again, I think that he's got a little different cat. And again, there's nothing wrong with that being a little bit of a different cat, but I think he's got a lot of upside. I think people are excited about it. Expedition Greg.
Hold on before you go there, because I don't want to let that one just kind of go there. We had an Ohio State coach, yes, one of the countable coaches on the Ohio State team, tell us preseason, I think Devin Brown could win the Heisman Trophy this year. That is a quote. Now you guys can take that and run with it. You guys can go, oh no, Nevada, you're making that up. I'm telling you, that was said from a accountable coach to us. So you wonder why, hey Nevada, why are you so excited about Devin Brown? Well, because they're excited about Devin Brown. Why was I excited about seeing Devin Brown in the fall or in the spring? Because they were excited about seeing him in the fall. That's the reason why. But we actually had a coach tell us that they thought that Devin Brown could win the Heisman. I actually put some money on a Devin Brown Heisman prop after that, just based upon that information. I'm like, man, I'll take a stab at this. Why not? But obviously that didn't work out. But it just shows you the mindset. I mean, that's how highly regarded this kid is. I mean, he's a good player. Now we'll find out if he's a good player when the lights are brightest, and we'll find that out. But on to the super chat.
Expedition Greg, thank you for the deuce. Any Big Ten expansion update? Who comes with FSU? Nevada.
That's so hard. I mean, right now, North Carolina is supporting FSU's effort legally. There's a reason that they're doing that. North Carolina is going to leave as well. But then the big question becomes, where does North Carolina go? I mean, North Carolina has, they're a Southern school, but, this one's going to be a classic academics versus football versus what I mean, UNC really fancies itself as a superb academic school, and they are, and they're very highly regarded. Are they really going to want to align themselves with the SEC with a bunch of schools that really aren't, the best and the brightest in terms of academics, whereas the Big Ten is more aligned with that? And so I think that's ultimately going to carry the day. So I think it'll be FSU and North Carolina. With after that, it's going to be Miami, and I think Notre Dame is going to be the one that falls after that, because I think Notre Dame, when the ACC falls down, remember that puts Notre Dame, squarely in play. And where are they going to go? Notre Dame going to go to the SEC? No,
No, God,
they'll
no.
grudgingly come to the Big Ten, but that's the FSU dominoes the first one, because that breaks up the ACC, and then it's game on.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much a done deal, but I'm excited for it regardless. Here we go. D-Jack next to the 5. I get misty-eyed. I think about my father, R.P. Pops, when people mention Nicole Auerbach, as she reminds me of his favorite TV show, Mr. Ed. Nevada, do you have a thought on that? Because you're the one. Nobody has looked up more horse gifts in the past 2 months than Nevada Buck in the history of Google searches, because people bring up Nicole Auerbach all the time. And I'm like, I don't know if she's as sexy as like Red Auerbach, like today. And he's been dead for like 30 years. So, I know people are all about Nicole Auerbach. I don't see it. The Oracle, I mean, we got to get him drug tested. He's part of the Buckeye Scoop family. So we got to figure out what's going on with him. It's like trying to defend her. And I'm like, dude, like she is a beast of burden. But your thoughts, Nevada, that's one of the best super chats I've ever read in my life. I appreciate you, D Jack. Thank you, brother. I'm sorry that it brings up memories of your father who's deceased. I'm sorry that Nicole Auerbach reminds everybody of, especially Nevada, of Mr. Ed. But we appreciate you, brother. Your thoughts, Nevada?
Yeah, well, if you guys, if you haven't like upped your GIF game, it's fun, because you just type in like horse GIF or whatever it is on the thing, in the Google thing, and it gives you all sorts of different options and things like that. And so I've done everything from Secretariat running to Mr. Ed. One's the best though, because I love the
Yeah.
Mr. Ed show when
Oh
I was a
yeah.
kid. That was a great show, man. That was an underrated show. I mean, a horse that could talk. I mean, that was awesome. But yeah, so Nicole, in some way, she's brought back memories of my childhood. So thank you, Nicole.
Do you know how they made him move his mouth so it looked like he was talking?
They shock him or something like that.
No, it was fishing wire. They would like
Oh
put it
man.
like move his arm, because I thought he was like chewing peanut butter. That was always like the big rumor, but it was fishing wire, because I got that wrong on a trivia one time, and it really made me mad. It's like, oh, they put peanut butter in his gums, and he was just chewing it the whole time. They videoed it, and nope, it was fishing wire. Sean Rawlings, thank you for the 5. This class should be the class to start a long streak against that team up north. I agree. You have to pass it in case it will bury you mentally as a team and the coach. I think that this is a class that's going to be really good. I think that there's a lot of underrated offensive linemen in here. I think we got JJ Smith, who's a superstar monster, first day starter. Edric Houston is going to be the number 3 D end. He's better. He's already better than Kenyatta and Caden Curry, in my opinion. So put him right behind Jack Sawyer and JT and get him in the game a lot and early. Get him ready to rock. But your thoughts, Nevada, on this class?
Well, look, we talk about the five stars in the class, but like a guy that could end up being the best player in the whole class is James Peoples. I mean, that guy is a stud. I mean, you watch just. Do we have his tape anywhere that we can put on? I mean, like, have people really watched how good this kid is? Because I know he drove the 4 hours to from San Antonio to Dallas to come to Bull Bright. He's watching, he's learning. I mean, this kid is just everything you want in a future Ohio State running back. But I mean, you understand, he is playing big time high school football, and he just runs past guys. I mean, it reminds me of Ezekiel when I watched Ezekiel's tape when he was like the big kid running against little kids there in Missouri. But this is
Yeah,
Texas, man. And watch this
yeah,
guy just accelerate and just go past, man. Because when he's gone, I mean, if he's even, he is absolutely gone.
yeah. And San Antonio is the home of Carlos O'Charlie's, aka Pat O'Brien's.
Pato
The
Charles.
home of Pat O'Charlie's, the home of the 2004 Ohio State Buckeyes when we were playing in the Alamo Bowl on Christmas Day. I think we had a little wreath up there. We had a little star on top of the tree, and a lot of guys were having a lot of drinks that day. I did not go. I literally laid in bed and watched James Bond, but the whole team was there, minus your boy. So yeah, I mean, this kid's got like this. So this is one of my favorite plays. I remember breaking this down. This is how good this kid is. I remember this play. So they're in empty here, So empty is basically you put instead of him being in the backfield, you move him out here to the slot. You got your receivers doing whatever, and you're running a little screen, a little tunnel screen. And so This the end who must watch film, must be a smart guy, whatever. He jumps it. He sees it. He sees his numbers face the quarterback. He jumps this play. This is amazing. So, this is a covered play. This is dead. So here's your quarterback looking. He's like, well, I can't throw this because this defensive end is going to pick it or dock it down or whatever. So what does James Peoples do? This is amazing. He creeps in here and gets loose. Like, watch this. Like, and he's got a guy right in his face. He gets loose right here, catches the ball. And again, this is a ballsy throw by this quarterback because this could be a pick right here because this D tackle sees it coming, gets it to him, spin move, and he goes to the crib. Like, this is one of the best plays of the entire year. He takes it to the crib. Like, that's a dead play. But his football IQ is so insane that he actually made it into a touchdown. So, again, put this kid on the field. I mean, I think he's better than Dallin Hayden right now. If we have him and Trey together, good God. I mean, when you're a freshman running back, if you're a stud, you can play like Trey Henderson played. Trey Henderson should have been the starter day one. If we didn't have the worst running back rotations in the history of football the last 5 years, then Trey's a day one starter. Not you don't start Mine Williams and then have Master Teague as your number 2 guy, 2 undrafted free agents, and then you have Trey who's a first round pick. If he comes back for another has a good year as your number 3 guy. Like, that's stupid. But again, our running back rotations have been terrible since really the year 2000. Like, when we were, me and Nevada were pounding the drum for Trey Sermon. Trey Sermon's our best running back on the team. He's amazing. And then he played like 5 plays week 1 and just nothingness. And then finally Master T got hurt and they put Trey in for Northwestern and he had like the greatest game, broke Eddie George's rushing record because he was that good. Nevada, talk about the impact of a super dynamic first round type running back on an offense. Because again, I've played with great running backs. I've played with terrible running backs at Ohio State. The blocking is largely the same. It might be a little bit better year over year. But the running backs can make a massive difference. But your thoughts?
Well, look at this year. Okay, this year, the OSU offensive line has been kind of widely panned as being not a very good run blocking offensive line. And in general, I would agree with that assessment. I think, the helping technician had kind of talked about it a little bit in terms of saying, we got some dancing bears as opposed to some sluggos or whatever terminology he used. But Trey Henderson had a really good year running the ball. So it's like, same guys, same plays, same everything. And Trey Henderson was good. Everybody else wasn't good. So what does that mean? Does that mean, is the offensive line bad, or does that just mean that Trey Henderson's special? Well, maybe it's a little bit of both, but, a good running back can make up for a lot of deficiencies, on scheme, can make up for a lot of deficiencies when your quarterback doesn't provide a constraint, can provide a spark when you're running loser plays into masked fronts. So to have a guy like Trey and Peoples back there who can do this. And again, Dallin Hayden, I don't want to just write him off in terms of that, but man, Peoples is electric. I mean, he is a guy, and he's not one of the 5 stars. He's not one of the five stars in the class, but he may end up being the best player in the class. He's really, really good. I mean, with all respect to J.J. Smith and to Edric Houston, I'm just telling you, Peoples is really, really good. I mean, this guy is he's great. The first time I saw him, I was like, man, if we can get this guy, I will not say anything else about any other running back in the class because this is the guy that I wanted, and we ended up getting him. So very, very excited to see him.
Absolutely. Deborah Sobel, appreciate you. Thank you so much for the 10. As always, you're on here all the time, so thank you for being a regular. Devin is supremely confident young man. Yes, I agree. Sly response on Marvin. We'll have to see. I think Marvin's gone. He's not playing this game. So on to the next. Talk about the receivers that will be playing and what to expect. I think the Rose Bowl from 2 years ago is a good template. When you saw Marvin have 3 touchdowns, you saw Jackson Smith and Jigba break the Rose Bowl receiving record. Like, that's kind of what I expect to be. Brandon Ennis was in line with the starters today. Him and Tate are going to play a ton this game. I think that that's going to be the coming out party for those two. I think those guys are going to be the superstars going forward. Obviously, Beckett's got to get featured. He's going to be the number 1 option. And then Xavier Johnson's going to do what he does. He's going to be playing. I think Xavier's got to play a little bit of running back because we're down to 2 scholarship running backs, so he's got to get some snaps at tailback. But I think we're going to throw the ball a lot. We're not going to be running it with 2 scholarship running backs on the team really 3 if you count X. But I think Ennis and Tate are going to go crazy. And I think if you put a gun to my head, say that Tate is the guy that's really going to be the feature and the dark horse of the MVP. I mean, he's got great chemistry with Devin, breakaway speed, their top corners out. So their number 2 corner is going to be stuck to Emeka Buka all night. So Cardinal Tate could go absolutely insane going against the number 3 corner from a team like Missouri, who's like a C tier SEC school. So I'm excited to see what these boys can do. Your thoughts on that, Nevada?
Well, one other name I'm going to throw out there, the guy that we're not talking about a lot, but Ohio State is Noah Rogers, man. I'm telling you, Noah Rogers, he might just sneak in there and have himself a game, because what Ohio State has done a bunch in this bowl prep has been rolling out 4 wide and rolling out 5 wide. And when they go 5 wide, Noah Rogers is on the field. And if I'm Ohio State, that's what I'm doing. If I'm playing against a blitz-happy team like Missouri, and I've got a quarterback like Devin Brown that does have the ability to move around, can run. He can run like Troy Smith. He can run like J.T. Barrett. So I'm not talking about Terrell Pryor or Braxton Miller or take it 90 yards to the house, but he can run opportunistically and he can get slippery through those things. I would spread them out, make those guys declare their blitzes, make them go into man coverage against that receiving room right there, play best on best, get rid of the ball quickly, and if Brown breaks contain, as we talked about early in the run, when you're playing zone defense, you're facing the line of scrimmage. Everything's in front of you. You're watching the receivers. You're watching the line of scrimmage. When you're playing man to man, you're running with the guys, so your back is turned to the line of scrimmage by definition. And what is the antidote to that? The quarterback run. Because if you break contain, you can just keep running all day, because those defensive backs are running, chasing those wide receivers, and you've got nothing but green grass in front of you. And that's what I would do. I hope they dial it up. I hope we get loose Ryan. I hope we get good Ryan this game. I think we will. The play calling, the game presentation that they've kind of given to the players is a loose Ryan game sheet. We will see if he goes through with it. We'll see if he executes it that way. I'm thinking he will, because it's a lot less pressure on him. But I would spread them out, let it go, and let's get our athletic advantage up against theirs, and let's go with it.
Yeah, I agree. I think you just got to let the guys go play, make it simple, get the young guys in there. It can't be crazy, it can't be hard. I'm really excited to see what these guys can do. I think we're going to have like a massive game. I think that our this is like kind of all hands on deck, and let's send these guys out the right way. I think there's, a lot of motivation to send the seniors out, send some of these coaches out that probably won't be back. It's kind of the last hurrah for a lot of these guys. So it's going to be really exciting to see. Nevada, what bowl game in the past 20 years would you compare this one to? Like the lead up, the potential opponent, kind of the whole, amalgamation of what's going on. What game do you compare this one to?
Well, we talked about the Kansas State game. The 03, 04, whatever year that was, in the Kansas State game, 03. I think that there's a lot of similarities to that. That great Notre Dame game that you guys played in with that terrific team certainly reminds me of that. 17 USC game. Yeah. Feels a lot like that as well. It feels like we could stifle them, do some things against them, and I look, Ohio State doesn't lose these games very often. Look back on these things to kind of go, in a situation like this, when's the last time Ohio State's laid an egg in a game like this? And look through those years. I mean, other than like 11 Florida, what I'm saying? Like there's really not many. So it's like you look at all these games and kind of go, wow, we really do show up in these games. And this is an emphasis game for Ryan. I mean, when you combine it with, this could have very easily been a game like everybody else in college football is having right now, where we have 15 opt-outs. We're given reports about the 900 guys going to the NFL next year. We're talking about the young guys that are playing a ton in bowl prep and going to be starting their first games. And Ryan is, there, and we're missing 5 coaches. And, that's what we could be talking about. This is completely different than that. This is everybody's back, everybody's playing, everybody's coming back for next year, everybody's focused on the game. That is a different kind of animal for Missouri. Missouri couldn't have anticipated that. That's why they thought they were going to get like what Georgia's doing or what Florida. I mean, Georgia and Florida State right now are like bonfires, man. They're like just going out there and everybody's leaving. Nobody's don't even know who's playing. Nobody knows who the coach is going to. It's a complete dumpster fire. And for Ohio State, completely different. Completely different, and I think you're going to see that on Friday night. Mark my words. You're going to see a focused team on Friday night, and as a gambler, I love that and can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I think we've got a distinct talent advantage. Again, we don't recruit against Missouri's guys very often. They've got some top drawer guys that are real good, but top to bottom, our roster is much stronger than theirs is, and I think that when you have that talent advantage, then you also have a team that's locked in that wants to do great, then it bodes well for our chances. Like, again, I think that, Devin Brown, first career start, this is his Super Bowl, man. I mean, he's got to go play and he's got to go have a game and he's got to go, slam the door on any transfer portal quarterbacks that they've been going after, Will Howard and, Cam Ward and everybody else. Like, there's no reason why he can't do it. He knows the receivers. He's had a whole month of practices with the first team. So I'm excited to see them. I'm excited to see this O-line. Something that I love is that none of the offensive linemen are opting out. They're all together, same O-line. And some of these teams like Georgia, like they've lost their tackles. They've lost backup guards. Like they've lost a lot of guys. So some of these guys are going to have guys that have never played before starting their first career games against a good opponent like a Florida State. And Florida State's got really good players. Obviously, they lost Jared Verse. They've lost, a bunch of guys that have opted out to go to the league, Keon Coleman. But I think Ohio State's unique in the fact that I think we're only going to lose Marvin. Marvin's a guy's top 10 pick, wants to protect his value, which is fine. Denzel Burke did it in the 2017 game. Sat out, or not Denzel Burke, excuse me, Denzel Ward. He sat out. He was kind of the first guy ever to opt out. And I don't know. And again, I've not been in the situation of being a top 10 pick. I've been a projected like mid-ish round guy. I went 7th round after I blew my knee out. But I think that it's, I'd rather just play and not worry about it. And if it happens, it happens. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But, if Marvin blew out his both ACLs, he'd still be a top 10 pick. They'd have him IR for a year and he'd be fine. But it is what it is. I totally get it. Luke Dojo, thank you for the deuce. Man, I kind of went in on Jaden the other day. What about Jaden Ballard, Nevada? It reminds me of JMO. I don't know about that. Nevada, your thoughts?
Well, it's not really. I mean, look, when Jameson Williams left Ohio State,
Yep.
be honest. Did you believe that he was a top 10 pick in the NFL draft or a guy that was going?
No, I thought he was a turd. I thought he was an absolute turd. I thought that nobody would miss him and God bless you and have fun and whatever. So that was my thought.
I thought he would leave, and I thought we would never hear about him again, to be honest with you. And went on to be great and playing stuff. So is that the worst comparison in the world? Maybe. I mean, look, Jaden Ballard just needs the chance, man. He just needs the chance to play. And maybe he'd be bad. Maybe he is Jameson Williams, or maybe he's somebody more obscure. But like I said, I confession time. I would have never thought that Jameson Williams was going to be a first-round pick. In fact, I would have bet a lot of money that Jameson Williams would not be a first-round pick, and he was. So you never know. Sometimes guys just need a chance to play, and Jameson Williams is Exhibit A. I mean, we've talked about Joe Burrow ad nauseum, but Jameson Williams is another great one of that guy was buried on the depth chart at Ohio State and moved on, and I think he did pretty well for himself.
Yeah, I mean, JMO is. It's funny because Ohio State, they've had the two best examples ever of guys that have transferred out of Ohio State and had massive success at the next stop. Like Joe Burrow, obviously, it wasn't year one. Year one, he sucked. Year two, he turned into Tom Brady. I mean, like year two, it was. I always joke. I was like, it was literally like he took like a handful of the Limitless pills. You guys seen the movie Limitless? And he like swallowed them and he turned into the greatest quarterback of all time. And it helped that you had Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. And again, when he got there, like nobody knew how good those guys were. And it turns out they're the two best receivers maybe in the entire NFL. They're freak shows, monsters. His O-line won the Joe Moore Award, so he had a fantastic O-line. His coach really didn't matter because they're so talented and so good that, hey, whatever. And they had Patrick Queen on defense, a bunch of guys that are really good on defense. So that was an all-time top 5 college football team ever, maybe the best college football team ever in 2019. And JMO was a guy that, I remember I watched him in the spring game. He looked disinterested. He dropped an easy pass. And I'm like, can we get him off the field? He sucks. He had that long catch against Clemson in 19 or in 20 where, everybody was kind of jonesing for him. And then, we get the spring ball and he sucked. And I was like, and I think Brian Hartline felt the same way. He's like, this guy's not going to play here. Like I got Jackson Smith and Jigba ready to play the slot. And Jackson was better that year. I mean, Jackson was fantastic. And, he was just kind of held back because he had, Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson in front of him. So it's, again, does JMO ever become what he becomes if he sees it at Ohio State? Probably not. He's probably a mid-round guy, and I'm sure he'd run a 4.3 at the pro day, and he'd look good catching passes from, whatever quarterback. If CJ Stroud's, working out as a junior and throwing him balls, like I'm sure he'd look great. But, going to Bama, he became the guy that could have won the Blitnikoff. I mean, Jordan Addison turned out to be a fantastic player for the Vikings in the first round. Went to SC, kind of sucked, but at Pitt that 1 year was really good, really productive. And JMO was number 2 in the Blitnikoff. So, if he stays at Ohio State, he's not even probably not all Big Ten. He's probably like honorable mention all Big Ten, and he goes to Bama and becomes their number 1 guy and wins, and should have won the Blitnikoff. So, again, the jury's out on JMO. Again, I think that he had a fantastic last year at Bama. He's been kind of a gadget guy with Detroit. He's been hurt. He's been in the doghouse. He had the gambling thing, which again is, gambling is what it is. But, if you're doing that stuff, like don't do it on your phone. Don't do it in the team facility. Like if I played in the league, I wouldn't do it at all. I'd have my buddies do it or my mom do it or anybody except me. Like I'm not going to do it under my name, my account, any jurisdiction, any geofencing, any of that stuff. But, I think he's a guy. I think JMO, I'd say if Detroit put a gun to their head, do they regret drafting him right now? Maybe. I mean, 'cause I think there's a lot more production they could have gotten out that spot as high as they took him. But, the jury's still out. I mean, they've got a lot of weapons on that offense with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Laporta and Gibbs and Montgomery. And, they've got other receivers that are as good as JMO. But JMO's supposed to be like that lead dog, and he really isn't that yet. But great question. Do we have another super chat? Looks like we do not. Nevada, as we get into everything's done. Who are some guys? Are there any underrated guys you think might make an impact with this game?
Well, it's going to be interesting. What you always wonder on this thing is how are they going to do the rotations? How deep are they going to go? Are they going to go to guys like Jermaine? I mean, look, a guy like Jermaine Matthews, he needs to play. He wants to play. He needs to play. Now, you've got kind of good news and bad news. The good news is, hey, we're going to return Denzel Burke. Hey, we're going to return Jordan Hancock. Great news. Phenomenal. Couldn't be more excited about that. But remember, there's a guy out there on the Ohio State team that's probably not as excited about that news, and that's probably a guy like Jermaine Matthews is like, man, I want my chance to play. I want my chance to kind of go out there and do my thing and stuff. So a guy like that, a guy like Malik Hartford, a guy like Jelani Thurman, could they come up and be that surprise? I'm going to double down on my Noah Rogers thing. I think Noah Rogers could he could sneak in there. We're picking our dark horses for the game. That guy that little obscure. That's what Nevada's going in on Noah Rogers. I'm not going to go in the obvious ones like the Carnell Tate or anything like that. So Burt Carton's going to be like, oh, I told you, Carnell Tate's going to be really good. I'm like, dude, everybody knows Carnell Tate's going to be really good. Everybody knows that. So let's go with something a little bit more obscure. So I'm going with Noah Rogers is my obscure player to make an impact, make a big play, do something spectacular in the game. Who is your obscure player? Don't go with Carnell Tate or somebody or Devin Brown or Trey Henderson or something. You got to pick somebody.
No, you took it. You can't name 3 names. No, my obscure player who a lot of people thinks isn't good is Trey Henderson, and I've been on the Trey Henderson bandwagon longer than
Oh
anybody.
man,
Nevada Buck,
oh my
Nevada
gosh.
Buck, Nevada Buck
Oh my
jumped
gosh.
on the end of the
Oh,
caboose as
oh,
the train was pulling out of the station. I said, Nevada,
oh
better jump
man.
on this train quick. He was on the Mayan
Oh,
Williams short bus, and I was like, dude, I don't know if
oh
you want to go with
man.
Mayan. I said, Trey Henderson, I think he's the guy. He's coming back. He's hungry.
Oh,
He's got faith now. He wants to come back for a fourth year. So in Nevada was like, I don't know, man. Mayan Williams and Master Teague, they look pretty good. They're real. They got a lot of vision, a lot of burst in the hole. And I was like, I don't know, man. Trey's the number one tailback in the country, 5-star. And well, you're like, well, Tony Alford's got him as like the 7th-string tailback to open the season. And I was like, well, if he gets the chance to touch the ball against Minnesota, he might go 70 yards on a screen pass. And oh my God, he did. And I was like, this guy's like Saquon Barkley. He's really good. And again, we've had a lot of people who are not very intelligent talk about how he's blind, he has no vision, he stinks, can't do anything. And I was like, I love me some Trey Henderson. He's my guy. Watch his film in practice. I was like, he's really, really good. So I'm my underrated, unheralded person from under the radar, from underneath the sewers. Like I'm one of the Ninja Turtles. Is Trey Henderson. I think Trey Henderson is that guy. He's got a lot of ability. I don't care what Nevada Buck says about him, but I think Trey Henderson is my guy who will be my breakout superstar of this game. Your thoughts, Nevada? You can have a rebuttal, a brief one, before I put you on mute.
oh man.
Take off your Master Teague jersey and tell me about how good Trey Henderson is.
I'm sitting here in my Trey Henderson little jammies right now, and you're going to be slandering Trey. This year of 2023, let's review who you have slandered in 2023. The Big O, Orlando Pace, has been slandered by Burt Carton. The Trey Henderson, definitely Trey Henderson slander. Marvin Harrison, a lot of Marvin Harrison slander as well. This has just been a year of steaming hot takes by Burke.
Elon Musk, major slander. Elon Musk, major slander. Had to.
Yeah.
I couldn't control myself.
He's an underachiever. He's an underachiever.
Lamar Jackson on Sunday versus the 49ers. Major slander. Couldn't help myself.
You're a Brock Purdy guy. I get it. You're on the Brock Purdy train. Oh, Brock Purdy, he's so amazing. It's like, that guy sucks, man. Anybody could play quarterback in the San Francisco system, including Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. But I digress.
I totally agree. Josh Ribideau. God, I love our message board so much. If you guys aren't on buckeyescoop.com, it's like you're missing like the funniest comedy act of all time. Josh Ribideau. What about that hot piece, Nicole Auerbach? Again, it's the gift that keeps on going because like it's like the horse that comes back to eat some more like corn and eats out of that trough again. Like Nicole Auerbach, it's a running joke on our thread because not only did we have someone say, if you guys, I want to see your girlfriends and your wives and Nicole Auerbach and she'd smoke all your girlfriends and wives, and then like the Oracle comes in off the top rope and he says, you guys are all haters. She is a gorgeous piece. And I'm like, damn, man. I'm like, Nevada, like, what is our boy doing? Like, the Oracle's one of our best insiders. And it's like, is he blind? Does she like have like the Notre Dame? Is that his lead source on expansion or something that he's like defending her like this? But I don't know, Nevada. Nicole Auerbach, your thoughts?
Well, yeah, just those Photoshop things. So she's got like the Photoshop where she's holding the can and the can is kind of like melting in her hand right there because she's so clearly photoshopped everything. And it's just like, oh man. And she was one of the people that was she was like shaming everybody about playing football.
Oh, she was the queen of it. She was Queen COVID.
Queen COVID. Like everybody was going to die and we shouldn't play football. And so just for that alone, oh man, yeah. No,
I'm like, that's the dangerous part about playing football is COVID, not concussions, not CTE, not neck injuries, not blowing your Achilles or ACL or any other way you could get maimed playing football. COVID, the common cold, really? Like that's why you don't want us to play? I was like, oh, we run into each other at 20 miles an hour, weighing 300 pounds, and kill each other. But I'm supposed to be worried about getting a cough and missing work for 2 weeks. I was like, what an idiot. I mean, we can't let anybody in this, like Illinois for senior day We wouldn't allow the parents in the entire stadium on senior day. We played Illinois, and like we wouldn't let our parents sit in C deck, which is like literally 5 miles away from the stadium. Like you could see, like there's birds like sitting on your shoulder, and they put nests up there that like eagles are putting their babies in because the eagles fly higher than anything in the world. And like we will not let anybody in the stadium that day. And I'm like, this is the peak of stupidity. And again, our athletic director was driving the bus, and so was Kevin Warren. They were driving that bus full steam ahead. Like, oh yeah, we can't play. There's no way we can play the most dangerous game in the world if we could potentially get the common cold. There's just no way. So again, stupid is, but just thank God we're getting some new leadership. D Sonny, thank you for the 5. Good call on Trey Kirk. I appreciate you, D Sonny. You've been here a long time. You let Nevada know. His Trey slander will not stand amongst the rational and the intelligent of BuckeyesScoop.com. I thought Nevada wanted Donovan Edwards, but I could have read the board wrong. No, he did. He was pounding the table with both hands. He had 2 mashed potatoes carved open with butter and sour cream, and he DoorDashed it for $90 in California with the COVID mask on. And he said, give me 2 mashed potatoes for $90. And I want Donovan Edwards too. I do not want Trey Henderson. And give me an extra side of Master Teague. But I said, Nevada, I think you're wrong on Trey. Nevada, I'd give you a chance to respond. I don't know if you deserve it, but I'll give you a chance to respond to this slander of Trey Henderson. Defend yourself, please.
No, like the Donovan Edwards stuff. Like people were just like on this guy's jock so badly. Like yeah, he had a couple of nice runs last year. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, Donovan Edwards, he was the greatest. And it's like, I just never saw it. I like, seriously, like, what's he averaging per carry this year? Like 3 yards per carry or something? I mean, somebody get me a stat thing, pull the thing up. But he's just been impossibly average. And I never got it. I never quite understood the Donovan Edwards adoration that people are having. This is, again, it's one of the things we talk about in the show all the time. We're trying to make you smarter fans, better fans. Small sample size versus large sample size. Don't make rash judgments off of one play, one series, one game, whatever it is. Try to get a little larger sample size and make the decision. What was Donovan Edwards' average year? Mr. Carton, do you have that number called up, or do I need to call it up myself?
No, I got another super chat about Nicole Auerbach. I don't care about Donovan Edwards anymore. You ready for more Nicole Auerbach?
I'm checking. Go ahead.
All right, Josh Ribideau, again, bringing the heat like he's Nolan Ryan. Thank you for the deuce, brother. Nicole makes my pants swell, laugh out loud. Get her on. I don't know if we have enough bandwidth to fit her entire body on our cameras right now. But again, you guys keep sending those super chats. We will upgrade our internet, the width of our cameras, the 4 to 8K capability, because she might actually need to be in 8K because like she's probably too heavy for 4K, so we'd have to probably go 8K to get her on here. But we appreciate you guys and your patronage, because every dollar that you guys do will go towards getting Nicole Auerbach on the show. Because again, she is, I mean, the thing I love about our message board is there's always these weird polarizing topics. Like there's like, like again, like I could go to like one of these, JT Barrett. People hate JT Barrett, hate him. Like he's the worst quarterback that ever lived. Like he sucks. Like he couldn't throw the ball, whatever. And I'm like, guys, like, again, he's not, Haskins or Stroud and can't throw it like that. But he won a ton of games. He never lost to Michigan either. And he won a national championship, in 14. Like, I mean, the guy did a lot of good stuff, but people hate him. And I'm just like, what is wrong with you people? I mean, this is Nicole Auerbach is almost as polarizing as she's like a modern day JT Barrett.
No. Hold on. Wait a second. I think Nicole Auerbach has brought us together because I think that I think we all kind of agreed. Like there's a handful of like outliers, but like Nicole Auerbach, she's the Donovan Edwards of reporters there. Donovan Edwards, I did check, 3.5 yards per carry this year.
3.5 in college football versus Michigan's O-line?
3.5.
Damn.
That's the guy that everybody was like, oh, Donovan Edwards, that's the guy that we need. It's like 3.5 yards per carry. So, Donovan Edwards, below average. I'll tell you, I knew he was bad. He was bad, but, hey, So people get all excited. He makes one good run, couple. Oh, Donovan Edwards, he's the best. We've got to get rid of Trey Henderson. It's like, guys, Trey Henderson's going to go off. I'm jumping back on the Trey Henderson
Oh,
bandwagon.
he's on it again.
Back. I'm back. I'm coming back, guys. I'm coming back. Let's go, Trey.
He landed on the B&O Railroad and decided it's time to own railroads again on Monopoly after I owned the other three.
I do like owning the railroads. $200 every time somebody lands.
It's the most powerful property in the game, them and the oranges. Yeah. So we got people are loving. They're loving the Clark thing. Aluminum chambers. That is funny. There's a little bit of smoke that Steele might come back. So that'd be really interesting if you have Cody and Steele back with CJ and Gabe Powers and whoever. I mean, again, I don't think it's some sort of an accident that Ohio State has not been super active in the portal right now. I think that there's a lot of guys, again, that didn't get the grades they wanted, didn't have the years they wanted. And what's crazy is we're 11-1. Like, I mean, we were thrown at the end zone at the end of the Michigan game, number one team in the country. We lose that game. And, so people are like, oh, we suck. Cancel everything, go home, kick the dog, whatever. But a lot of these guys didn't grade out high, so they're coming back. I mean, Jack, JT, potentially Denzel. Denzel, like when Denzel says, hey, I'm going to decide on January 10th, and I'm going to figure out if I want to play or not. I'm like, dude, like if you're going pro, the second the game is at all zeros on the clock, like you got to say, hey, I'm going pro, and I got to go train for the combine. I got to go train for the combine in at API or whatever it's Exos or whatever it's called in Scottsdale. That's like the big hot spot for all the first rounders to go work out and learn shuttles and L drills and 40 starts and all that other crap. Or LA or Bradenton, Florida or Miami, Florida, wherever. Like there's 5 or 6 cities that have like the best training spots for combine training. And like, so you're not going to waste 10 days hanging out in Columbus or wherever, Arizona, to decide. So, I mean, when you say you're going to wait that long, it's it oozes that you're coming back for another year. JT, I don't know. I think JT could come back. I think Sawyer's coming back. So I think we've got a lot of good energy right now, guys. I think if we get Sawyer and Ty Leak back, toss JT in there, man. That's going to be a crazy good D-line. And those guys will dominate. I'm telling you, Michigan's going to hit with that nuclear strike. You guys are all scared of Michigan. I ain't scared of them because they've been cheating. They're about to be hit by the Grim Reaper pretty quick here. Nevada. Oh, we got Nashville.
Let's talk about Steel Chambers. Steel Chambers, there's always that guy on our team that I feel like people underappreciate. And then they kind of come around and, like, all kidding aside, we've been talking about Trey Henderson and people are like slandering him. And then now people are like, oh, Trey's the best. I was like, guys, we've been telling you this. JT Barrett, we've been telling you this. Trey Sermon, we've been telling you. I mean, like, we can go down the list of guys where we're like, guys, we're telling you. Steel Chambers is that guy. Steel Chambers is a guy that has been, I don't think people appreciate how good a player he is. He's a really good player. If somehow we got him back next year, so your linebackers are Steel Chambers and Cody Simon, and you've got JT and Tyleek and Jack up front, and Lathan and Jordan Hancock and Denzel and Davison in the back. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, I mean, that would just be that would be a defense for the ages there. But Steel Chambers specifically, I know that if he did come back, the response from the people would be, that's okay. The response from Nevada Buck would be absolutely over the moon ecstatic. If that happened, I would be beyond excited because that would be a huge underrated get, and I think he's way better than people. I don't think he gets near the credit that is due him.
I mean, can he not get an NIL deal for this hair though? Like seriously, like some Pantene Pro V or something. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's
like kid. He should go with the kid and play thing, like the big fade.
Isn't that No, he should stack it all the way up high and get it like shaved down or like in the hood or something. But it's like he like does this like thing where he looks like the lunch lady from like 6th grade in Perry kindergarten, and I'm just like, man, like I like it. It's different. He has like the nicest family in the world, but man, that hair that hair is just pure fire right here. I'm looking at it and I'm just like, I don't know if I could pull it off because like when I wear my helmet, like I wanted it to like fit, you know, and when you've got like a bun that looks like a fupa on top of your head, I don't know what you're supposed to do with all that. But again, you know, it is what it is. I'd love to have him on here. I think it'll be a fire because I think it's gonna be awesome. Oh, here we go. So Kelly Fleece is kind of onto something right here. This is gonna be great, Nevada. Kelly, you are onto something. She said, I think the banter tonight is a glimpse of how fun the watch party is going to be on Monday. Nevada, she says she is super amped. So again, it gets a little tiring sometimes correcting you all the time and having to be right all the time about Trey Henderson when you were super deep into the Master T bandwagon. But that being said, how excited are you for the watch party?
Well, I'm so excited. Like I said, we should get Nicole Auerbach to be like a guest on the watch party. So like have the three of us or something like that. So it'd be like a split screen. It could be like Bert Carton, Nevada Buck, and Mr. Ed as like the third screen or something like that. And then we could just like move her lips with like the fishing wire and stuff like that and do it. I think that could be unbelievable television right there. I mean, we're trying to produce this like a TV show. This show is best viewed not on your phone, not on your computer. Put it on your TV at home. This is like TV quality type of stuff. That would be TV gold there, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion.
We have to do. We have to get Nicole as a horse to come on here.
Yes. Just put it on there. We'll put Mr. Ed's thing, and we can just kind of move the thing, and we can do the little voices and stuff. I'm telling you, it could be one of the great moments in television. Kind of like the MASH episode. Remember when Radar went in there and told him that Colonel Blake died and stuff like that, or some of the things, or like in Newhart when he woke up with Suzanne Plachette in the bed, it was all a dream and everything like that.
Yeah,
Nicole Auerbach on our show. That could be iconic.
So Mello correctly pointed out that this is Kid and Play's hairstyle right here.
Yeah.
So, but you're thinking that Steele has enough inertia to change this into this.
Well, it looks like it's a combination of the two. If you look at it, it's like it's Kid for sure.
And you have to understand, like, this is after practice, so you don't get to get it all tightened up and looking sweet. So I don't know. Like, I mean, I think there's potential there. I don't know how that fits with a helmet, though.
It explains why he's got that big helmet, because Steele's got that big helmet. He's kind of got, like, do you ever see those Jack in the Box commercials where Jack's watching his kid play football and he's got that giant helmet out there running around out there? That's kind of like Steele Chambers' helmet. His helmet's like really big because of the hair.
Oh my God. This has been a great show. This has been amazing. Yeah, I think, hey, anything for an NIL deal. I mean, Pert Plus, holler at your boy, get Steele Chambers hooked up. Good family.
Supercuts.
Yeah, Supercuts they got Cade Stover. Cade is like a zero with no guard. No, I swear to Christ, he did. He said he.
No, I know,
but
that's he should be like for tractors and milk and stuff like that.
No, Cade literally has a Supercuts commercial where he said, "I need a zero with no guard and like hillbilly. Like I'm joining the Corps like tomorrow. Like I'm joining Full Metal Jacket tomorrow." That's literally, he like says like his exact order to the people. Like, people are going to say, "Hey, I want to come in here give me a zero with zero guard and the whole deal." And I'm like, that's the haircut they were going to like kind of exploit on Supercuts. But hey, it worked. I got him a little bit of cake. So, well, Nevada, we can wrap this thing up. This has been an absolute riot tonight. And Monday is going to be crazy. Mello, I don't think any of us need to see this. Nevada Buck chided me into doing that. He peer pressured me. It was kind of like, when they say don't fall for peer pressure. I did. When you say you need to see super drunk Kurt for life, like that Notre Dame game, I was like, Nevada, I don't know. He's like, Kirk, you have to drink a glass of Everclear every time Notre Dame has 10 guys on the field. And I was like, Nevada, I can't do this. There's no way. And then they did it 2 straight times. And I was like, oh my God, but we won 2 glasses of Everclear. I got on there. It was literally the shortest podcast in Buckeyes Scoop history. It's like maybe 9 minutes long. And it's in the archives forever and ever and ever. But I was faded, very faded. And you're just like, every time Marcus Freeman does something stupid, you have to do a shot of Everclear. And then when they do 10 guys on the field, you have to do a glass of Everclear. And I was like, I can't do it. Like I'm probably gonna die. But you're like, we got to do a post game show because there's no way we can miss out on this post game show and tell people our thoughts. And I was slurring pretty good that night. Nevada, what are your final thoughts? We'll wrap this thing up so we can mercifully put this thing to an end and get ready for next 2 days are gonna be huge, guys. So hope you guys are tuning in the next couple nights. The coverage is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm just I'm getting myself ready for the post game. The post game show after the great win on Friday night is going to be epic. So get you guys get yourself all lubed up, ready to go, because we're gonna bring that one home. We're gonna big victory on Friday night. I'm telling you, I'm calling it Nevada Buck. I'm putting the flag in right now, and you line up, get rich kids at Ohio State. Only a half point, 1 point favorite right now. It's free money.
Yeah, and like Missouri hasn't won anything since Josie Wales was running around that state. So again, I'm not worried about those guys at all because I think we're going to stop a mud hole on them. So we appreciate you guys as always kicking it. Again, Mello, Patriot, all you guys that are laughing about my Notre Dame night. It was a good night. We had a good day. Had my family down for the party during the day. A little swimming, little drinking. It went really well. It was a good day. And I was just glad we won that night before we went on the podcast. So appreciate you guys. As always, if you enjoy this content, please leave us a like, click subscribe. Also click that little alert bell. Again, I appreciate you guys kicking it with us. We'll be back again tomorrow night. As we roll into Friday, Friday's going to be a massive day for us. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. If you enjoy this content, please click like, click subscribe. Also click that little alert bell. Shout out what you guys are doing for the game. I'd love to hear your plans, where you guys watching from, and shout out where you guys are watching this episode from tonight. I love seeing where you guys watch from. Again, it's always fun to see kind of where we're at, because we got people all over the globe watching the show right now, and it's the #1 rated Ohio State podcast by far, thanks to you guys. So thank you guys again for your patronage. Thank you guys for the super chats. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Thank you so much, Buckeye Nation, and thank you, Scoop family. I'm going to talk to you guys tomorrow. Go Bucks.